Today, we're going to talk about everything from display, performance, keyboard, to battery life, to find out if you should upgrade your MacBook to the new Air or wait for the next model.
But first, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe as it helps us grow, and drop a comment so you can be featured in the next video.
It's not only one of the first MacBooks to use Apple's M2 chip, the vanguard of Apple's second generation of silicon, but it also has a completely new look. A thinner logic board on the inside allows for a larger, bolder screen, and a new chassis that adds great features without adding bulk or weight. This is Apple's most recent MacBook Air, and it's the best ultra-portable Mac you can use. So, let's talk about the Apple MacBook Air 2022's concept. The MacBook Air has always been attractive, but it has never looked better than it does now. The lid is now entirely flat and uniform in thickness, with a relatively steep curve on the laptop's underside than before. The result is that the entire laptop appears super thin. Not just the edges. The new Air is only 0.44 inches thick as opposed to the previous generation's variable thickness, which ranged from 0.16 inches at the edges to 0.63 inch at its thickest point. It's also remarkably lightweight, weighing 2.7 pounds, down 1 pound from the previous model. The combined effect of thin and light was always the Air's calling card, and this model continues to live up to that standard. The overall industrial style of the laptop now matches that of the most recent MacBook Pro series. The Apple logo on the lid has grown in size, and the words MacBook Air have been removed from the bottom of the display. The larger 13.6-inch display has no discernible effect on the Air's footprint. This model has the same width but is 0.1 inches deeper than before. However, the screen squeaks into the chassis corners, leaving slim bezels all around. Unfortunately, that design resulted in the controversial addition of an iPhone-style notch to accommodate the webcam. Another distinguishing feature of the new Air is the replacement of the stereo speaker openings on either side of the keyboard with 4 speakers. The speakers are located between the laptop lid and the keyboard, and they spray audio at the display, where it bounces back into your ears. Unless you're looking for them, the speakers are almost imperceptible. The speakers sound good, but not as full or rich as the ones on the MacBook Pro. The Air excels at playing spatial audio tracks, like those found in Apple Music. When you listen to a spatial audio track through these speakers, the effect is often compelling and all-encompassing, bordering on overwhelming. This laptop sounds fantastic with spatial audio music. This MacBook Air has a better display, web camera, and sound. Another significant change in the design of the Air is the switch to a 13.6-inch display. The liquid retina display on the Air is brighter and more vibrant than anything we've ever seen before. In regards to being larger, it has a 500 nit maximum brightness and support for 99% of the P3 color gamut. It's an amazing feat for the MacBook Air, which has long felt like a technologically advanced laptop with a display that is several years old. The 13.6-inch display is slightly larger than the 13.3-inch display on the older M1 MacBook Air that came out in 2020. But the larger screen appears to fit into the same overall chassis size thanks to thinner bezels. Thinner bezels leaves less room for a camera, so Apple finally added the notch to the MacBook Air. The design, inspired by the 14-inch MacBook Pro, chokes out a portion of the top of the screen to make more room for the built-in 1080 webcam. Let's talk about that keyboard. The keyboard is largely unchanged. Only the top section of keys make the difference, which changed the match-sized power button with a Touch ID fingerprint sensor in at the right. The switch to full-height keys makes these keys easier to press than before. Otherwise, the keyboard is similar to the QWERTY layout found on the MacBook Pro, with just enough travel stability in the keys to make touch typing comfortable. Let's discuss the performance now. This is only the second MacBook Air to feature second generation Apple Silicon, the M2 processor. Of course, the first was the MacBook Pro 13-inch in 2022. The M2 is available in two variants, both with an 8-core CPU. The first has 8 CPU cores, while the second has 10. Yet another feature of the M2 chip is the amount of system memory that can be added. Whereas the M1 chip could only support a maximum of 16 gigabytes of RAM, the M2 can support up to 24 gigabytes. The Air's standard configuration includes 8 gigabytes of RAM. So how does the M2 chip equipped to MacBook Air fare? We can certainly say exceptionally. Although it does not have the dramatic speed increase seen when Apple switched from Intel to M1, you should definitely notice a significant performance improvement from M1 to M2 when using the MacBook every day for tasks and more intensive scenarios. If you're upgrading from an Intel MacBook Air to this model, you'll notice a significant difference. The chip is so quick and efficient that it's difficult to see why you'd want to consider the MacBook Pro, unless you frequently use heavy-duty apps or require a larger display for extensive video editing. Next up, the battery life. The battery life on this laptop is still excellent, easily lasting a full working day with plenty of room to spare. You'll rarely need to bring the charging plug with you. Apple claims that the battery can last up to 18 hours. The MagSafe charging connector has also returned. It had been missing from Apple laptops for some time, but it is now available. You can charge using either of the two USB Type-C sockets. It is also satisfying and entertaining to hear the MagSafe connector snick into place. By the way, if you select the $1499 model of the Air 22, it comes with a more advanced M2 processor with a more potent GPU and greater storage capacity, 512 gigabytes instead of the normal 250 gigabyte SSD. Additionally, you receive Apple's $59 35-watt power adapter with two USB Type-C connections, allowing it to simultaneously charge your laptop and other USB Type-C devices. With Apple's optional $59 67-watt USB-C power adapter, the Air 22 is also able to receive a fairly quick charge. By a wide margin, this new MacBook Air is the best model that Apple has ever produced. And it is the Air's most important and memorable update since launch. Because of these upgrades and this model's astounding all-around quality, the MacBook Air is now the most standard option for most customers looking to purchase a MacBook laptop. Apple has continued to provide the earlier model, and it is still a great choice, of course. After all, the MacBook Air M1 model delivers the same battery life, rapid speed, and is $200 less expensive. The new 2022 M2 model, however, is just superior in every way. It is lighter, faster, and has a brighter display, as well as MagSafe charging. It also feels great to text on and has a beautiful appearance. Choose the MacBook Air M2 if your budget allows for the additional $200. Now, I want to hear your thoughts about the brand new MacBook Air. Please leave a comment with your opinion down below. Keep an eye on your screens for more great material, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Keep an eye out till then, and stay healthy.